Hey, do you know why gravity causes mass to attract mass and has a theoretical infinite range? Well, give me a few minutes, I'll tell you where that comes from and why I think that is. Sources are me, Google, and YouTube for this, but here's the bottom line. Gravity does not just curve or warp space-time as they say, rather it pulls space in over time. Now, I'm sure almost everyone has seen the demonstration where they place a ball on a sheet and it sinks. Here's the thing. That demo sucks, and is akin to defining a word by using that very word in the sentence. Say for cold, something cold. And you left it at that. Because by placing a ball in the middle of a sheet, it is affected by gravity. And gravity is not 2D. The representation is more harmful to understanding than helpful, I feel. I feel it is better to imagine a ball with holes in it and a hose connected to a vacuum. When you turn the vacuum on, all the air around it is sucked in. With smoke, you would be able to see this better. Now imagine infinite tiny holes on this ball and you have gravity. You can imagine that a ball with a greater size will suck in more than a smaller ball. Why does all this sucking matter? Well, it redefines how gravity functions. Objects don't attract just because they have mass, they move closer because their mass sucks in everything in between each other. Now, I know that makes no sense because space is a vacuum, there is nothing for mass to pull in. This is where I introduce what is referred to as dark energy or vacuum energy. There is no such thing as a true vacuum or void. There is always vacuum energy. This vacuum energy is made up of virtual particles. They are called virtual particles because they are too small to see, but we can observe their effects, so we know they are there. These virtual particles interact with the subatomic particles, and like photons and every other particle has mass, I think virtual particles have mass, but just so little that they are mainly energy, hence the term dark energy, as we can't see it, but we know it has energy. Now that we have established there is always something there, we can now look at space or space-time as a fluid that everything sort of floats in, rather than a field. When matter sucks in that fluid, it causes a void in the virtual particles. This void now has lower density, and so the lower density space must be filled. This causes the virtual particles to flow into that space. Now, if this consumption is constant, then the flow will be too, and you get gravity. When matter moves into this flow of virtual particles, it pulls the particles towards itself, but all the particles it is attracting are moving toward the larger mass as well. And so a collective motion begins in that direction. When the masses get close enough to cancel each other's pulls, they fall into an orbit. Why would mass do this? Well, what is mass? It's energy. And we established that dark energy has mass, and it even has energy in the name. So what is mass doing? It is taking in energy to sustain itself. The reasons for this are for another video, as we must stay focused here. Mass creates gravity by pulling in dark energy and creating a flow. This flow impacts all of space because it is effectively removing a part of space from space. The overall impact of this loss is reduced with range, but no matter how far away you go, space has been affected. This is why gravity has range hacks, as it doesn't really have a true limit, just a practical one. This is when the strength of gravity is no longer enough to pull something back in. Anyway, gravity is the flow of energy from high to low. This is why potential energy is a thing, and it also is what causes kinetic energy to manifest. This is not limited to planets or stars, this is everything down to the atom and beyond. Everything functions off this principle, and it is effectively summed up as entropy. Long story short, gravity runs every mechanism in our universe, and gravity is just the flow of dark energy which is caused by entropy. Don't believe me? Well, I have videos planned for the other fundamental forces to show you, and I have kind of already started with light. Speaking of which, we should get back to that now.